This is some interesting shit here, really.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's how do you? Yeah, it's a lot. It's stressful. I feel like I've been stressed out about this all day long.
Step right up, got tickets on sale, and today's episode, trains coming off the rails.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the brand new channel. This is Rollin Throttle Podcast. We're going to add this into everything we do, and tonight's our inaugural episode where we're going to introduce us before we get into any topics. Of course, everybody, Drew, aka Hells, you guys name me, so you ought to know my name by now. All right, and I got this handsome devil on my right over here.
Yeah, I was still looking. I'm not sure who you were talking about.
So this is Jason, aka the Captain. And before he does any introducing himself, let me let you guys know that have followed us for a long time. This is actually our first, what do you want to say, follower, subscriber, all of that.
This is our,
because you were there when we decided we were going to do this crazy journey we started years ago.
I've seen this baby since the beginning.
You have.
Yes.
So go ahead, tell everybody who you are.
Well, now that's a real good question. Who really am I? Since you guys started this thing, kind of followed around behind the scenes, helping you guys with, trying to help you guys out with creative ideas.
Yep.
And, doing some video work and a little bit of everything. Like I said, I like to creative liaison. It's probably a better term for what I've done.
That's right. Director, liaison, advisor. Advisor is good. Yeah,
advisor.
Advisor's
creative advisor.
Yes,
I like that.
Yes, because we get to talk about stuff, and you're always like, "Oh,
yes." It's like, yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, it's like you got to have somebody to bounce it off of back there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So if you guys been following along to our Facebook, you saw that we added him into the family on the Facebook group. So this summer, hopefully, you'll see him putting his adventures up for the Rollin Throttle family. What's the joke of you and your guys around here? You call yourself what, the Concrete Mafia or something?
World famous Concrete Mafia.
Yeah. So
try to get some videos out for them, see where we see where the adventure this summer takes us,
But I think it's awesome because those are the opposite of what Hell's on Two Wheels has been.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying it's any less, but they're the family guys. They're the guys that get to go on a big trip every once in a while.
It's the other side of it.
Yeah. Not saying they don't love motorcycles any less.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, it's tough. You guys have been beneficial to be in a very unique position that's afforded you the opportunities and stuff through your work. You know what I mean? To travel and do that stuff. It's like I said, for the rest of us back here in the quaint, quiet corners of suburban hell, as it seems like most time, as much as you try to get out, you can't. So you do what you can. You know what I mean? We do as much as what we can.
Exactly. And that was another point of doing this podcast is trying to link the two sides together, right? Entertain some people and share some crazy stories.
Well, sure. I think there's a great bridge to be learned. I mean, there's an in-between out there. You know what I mean? I think that's a lot of people, for people who are trying to get into, who look at wanting getting into motorcycling in general.
Right.
Or motorsports. It doesn't even have to be motorcycle.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, whatever moto sport that you want to be into, there's always a genre and a following. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to kind of try to find your way of where you fit into. You don't have to fit into this crowd or to that crowd. It's just important just to be whatever you are. Just be you. You do what you do. You know what I mean?
Right. And, what we've done, I think some people think they can't do it because where we do it full time, they're like, oh, man, but I can only do it so much. No.
There's no reason. Just because I can't this weekend hop on my bike and ride to South Dakota.
Right.
You know what I mean? Doesn't mean that I couldn't get on my bike and ride to dinner, which I do a lot. I do a lot of riding. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Work a 12-hour day, come home when it's not, drowning ducks as it is today. Get out there and, try to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Just to get out for just a few hours, if nothing else,
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Drew, you know this as well as I do. I mean, why do we do it? Why do we do it? Do we do it to look cool? No, because I am far from that by any means whatsoever. No, we do it because of the love of the motorcycles and to get out and to adventure. And we live in an amazing state here in West Virginia to do that.
We absolutely do. So for anybody listening or watching us, don't know, we're back here in our home state where this literally we're recording this in the place where it started. Because remember, we talked about it right here.
Yeah, I think we're working on your bike, talking about this.
Yeah,
a few years back now. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I just realized that. It's like practically this same greasy oil stain that I'm sitting on right now in this garage for.
Yeah,
was where it happened.
The full circle, baby.
The full circle. Yeah.
So that's why I called on the tagline on this podcast. That's why I said where stories, safety, and speed collide.
I like it
because it's like literally this is full circle right now.
It's true, and it's good that you bring up safety.
Oh God, well,
you got to have a safety message. I mean, it's like you every good story has to have storyline. We got to have something in there. You got to have a little tidbit.
All right, hang on. We'll get into the safety message here, but before we do, I want to thank H2 Performance. They're the sponsors of today's episode.
Yes.
If you want to go get your top quality suspension for a budget-friendly price on your Harley, go to rideh2.com.
Right.
Support H2 Suspension, excellent company. So we want to thank them for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
And I did my little spiel. So, hey, let's go ahead. Let's do safety corner. Since you want to go ahead and get in safety corner, let's get in the safety corner.
I've been excited about this,
Oh,
it's like we talked about this the other, we kind of talked through this stuff the other day, and it's like let's figure out a little, what's a little framework for this thing. And I said, we should throw out with a good safety message.
Go ahead, do your safety message for this episode.
Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, my safety message comes brought to you by experience. So let me tell you a story. So a little short while ago, I had somebody call me up and needed to borrow a trailer to haul a bike. And, of course, I was like, hey, you know what? Ain't no problem. Man, you need it. Well, no problem. Come pick it up. I'll put it out there. You can use it. So, this fella comes up, takes my bike, or picks up the trailer to go move his bike. And, hadn't talked to him for a day or two, busy work, schedule, da-da-da-da-da. So I run into this guy there a couple days later, and it's like, hey, man, did everything work out? Did you get the bike moved? He's like, oh, yeah, man, it's great. And he said, I've got this really cool product. I'll have to show it at some point in time, when I get it. This really cool thing goes on the bottom of my jack. It's a flip jack. So that way you don't have to crank your jack all the way up. It's like, you know how that works. It's a pain.
It's an excellent product.
It's an excellent product. It seems like it has so many uses. So, you crank it, you drop it down, crank your jack down about 2 inches, and it adds about 6 inches to 8 inches to your jack. Nice little foot on the bottom of it. So he asked me, he said, where'd you get that cool thing on the bottom of that jack? And I said, I had somebody tell me about it. Actually I ordered it on Amazon. He said, it's really great. He said, because I'm going to have to buy you a new one. And I said, huh? What do you mean you got to buy me a new one? He's like, well, in my haste of being in a hurry and rushing, he said, I had a little oversight, and I had a little thing happen with the trailer. He said, don't worry, the trailer's okay. He said, but your jack took the brunt of it. He said, I was coming down the road. He said, and I hit a bump. And next thing I know, he said, I looked back and the trailer was dragging the ground. This feller, in his haste of trying to get where he had to get, failed to do the quintessential part of trailer hookup. Check your hookup. Do a walk around. It happens. It happens to everybody. But what we learned is, the learnings from this is that if you have a 2 5/16 coupler on your trailer and a 2-inch ball on your truck, the odds are when you hit that bump, it's going to come off.
Especially at 80 mile an hour.
Especially at 80 mile an hour, from what this guy told me. So, so today's safety message is I'm going to go with towing safety. Number one, when you hook your trailer up, do a walk around. Kick the tires, check the coupler, the chains. This guy was really good. He made sure the wiring was hooked up, and he made sure the chains were hooked up. So at the end of the day, when it come off, the chains got the trailer as they were supposed to.
Yep.
We crisscross our chains to make sure that the tongue doesn't drag.
Yep.
So the only thing it actually drug was just a little flip jack drop down on the crankjack.
Yep.
So and I'm not mad at Drew at all for it. I didn't mean that. I was going to keep that anonymous.
Thanks for keeping it anonymous.
No. Trailer safety. Check your couplers. Check your tires. Check your chains. Check your brakes. Make sure everything works.
Yeah, don't.
No harm, no foul. It's all good. It happens to everybody.
Now you get the safety portion of story, speed, and story, safety, and speed collide on the Rollin Throttle Podcast.
Yes, because my trailer collided with the pavement
at 80
miles an hour. But the trailer's safe, your truck's safe. Like I said, no harm, no foul. We're good to go.
Except when,
for the record, I haven't seen the trailer yet. Just throwing that out there.
Hey everybody, Jason here from Rollin Throttle. I just wanted to take a quick second and say thank you for all the support. We love the interaction, and we love putting the show on for you guys. If you like it, if you like the content and you find it entertaining, please drop a comment in the section below. And if you got anything you want us to talk about, let us know there too. Thank you all for tuning in, and as always, have a wonderful day. Be safe out there.
I was surprised when I walked back there because I was like, Jason's gonna be so mad. Jason's gonna be so mad. I walked by there, I was like, holy crap.
And that's what good preparation. Let me rephrase that. That's what marginal preparation gets you, is a good end result of a bad situation.
There we go. Because I'm telling you, 80 mile an hour, next thing you know, sparks are flying. I'm reaching up, trying to slow the trailer down. I get back there, and I'm just like, oh, this tongue's all screwed up, all this stuff. But
I've seen worse.
No.
I've seen worse just in the last year. I was on the way to work, going through Charleston the other day. And I sit there and look over, and this guy on a older 3/4 ton passed me. And then about 30 seconds, about 3 seconds later, his trailer passed me. His was not hooked up. No change, no wires, no nothing. Just a cattle trailer scooting down the road at 70 mile an hour all by itself through traffic.
Hey, at least
perfectly in line, going dead straight.
At least I could say that the trailer was still kind of attached to the truck.
Yeah. The brake still works. You slowed it down.
But then there I was in the fast lane of a 3-lane highway, putting the trailer back on to get it off the highway.
Well, at least you didn't have to flip it over in a ditch to put it back on.
That is true.
So, that's just the best outcome of a bad situation.
Oh, my gosh. So, there you go. There's your safety corner of the Rollin Throttle Podcast.
You might want to start using that as your new moniker.
What?
The best outcome of a bad situation.
That is pretty good. We should put that on a T-shirt.
It would make a great T-shirt. If it was on a T-shirt, would you buy it? I know I would.
Yeah. Drop a comment if you're watching this video. Would you buy that T-shirt? Because the way Crystal and I are with stuff, we break everything.
That's true. It definitely may make a good sticker, if nothing else.
Holy crap. Oh, my gosh. All right, Jason. So, I guess, what else you want to talk about today?
What should we talk about?
Well, this is a motorcycling podcast.
It is a motorcycling podcast. I would have to agree with that.
This is our first time. We're rookies.
Well, I'm very rookie. You're not. You're, in comparison to me, you're a professional.
But this is my first ever podcast. So.
This is like me sitting here with Joe Rogan in my world.
Jeez.
It's a lot. I get it.
That you just put like a lot of pressure on me over here.
I put a lot of pressure on myself today.
Oh my God.
I've been sitting here worrying about this all day long. I swear.
I've been excited about it all day long.
Well, I've been excited, but I just kind of worried. It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say?
Well,
it's like, what do you do with your hands? Like, I don't understand what do you keep them down?
Dude, it's just like Ricky Bobby, man. You just let him go.
I literally watched that last night. That's what made me think.
You just let him go.
Yeah.
But
I keep them down.
Leave my hands alone. I'll do what I want. But here's the thing. I was excited for you to do this because we've had so many great conversations over the years that I'm just like, man, I wish I had that recorded.
It's true. It is true. We have had great conversations.
Because it's kind of fun. We're friends. We do the same thing, but we live on two opposite ends of the same hobby.
That's exactly correct. That's a very good way to put it.
So we always have a good conversation as in new points of view. And I explained to Crystal is
I represent the silent majority of the bikers out there.
you actually do. You actually do because we over the years we've gotten comments, or some little snarky stuff like, "Oh, I have to work a real job," and da 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 da.
I work a real job too.
Yeah, but because we do it full time. But on the other end, a lot of people don't know like how much work we actually put into this.
Well, I mean, it's like for you guys, they say you got to. Everybody, people might say you got to work a real job, but I think this goes back to a really interesting point that you can bring up about social media.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can dig into this. This is a broad spanning podcast. You know what I mean? We can touch on things here.
Okay.
So let's touch on that.
All right.
Because I think here's what people do. I think people see the end result. You're watching this video and you say, "Hey, man, look at those two pudgy old weird guys talking about crap in their garage." How cool would that be if that was me? Maybe. but I say it to say like this because people, number one, they don't understand how much work you put into it. And they just see that end product. They're like, "Oh, these guys don't have nothing to do but sit around in their garage and talk." I mean, shit, I worked 16 hours today. I get up, I'm going to get back up here at 4:30 in the morning and go back to work for another 12.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you do the same thing too. You do it. Crystal does it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yes. Despite what you may think, we're not that famous. We all still have real jobs.
Exactly. we're still living a normal life.
Yeah, we're normal.
Yeah.
We're just average people.
But what people really don't realize, I'm not even the greatest editor about stuff out there. And I'm sat and actually average for every minute that I have in a video or anything I record, it takes me about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It averages out about an hour a minute per video.
Right.
Because it's a lot of detail work.
Oh, yeah.
First you're organizing all, especially when we were doing the huge trips,
Yeah.
I'd have days and days of footage I'd have to go through and organize.
Sure.
And then you got to figure out what you want to use.
Right.
All right. Then you got to correct stuff like collar.
Right.
Then you got to correct like anything that's grainy with the videos. I mean, there's so much detail.
Well, you see these guys out there, and I think the thing that throws everybody, it's like you see these people out there, these really big name guys out there, like, and they're not just in the motorcycle world, like say like guys like Whistling Diesel and all these kind of guys, Wes Chaplin. People don't understand they've got huge, massive following, and they have massive money that comes in for it. Obviously, the Whistling Diesel guy, he's got somewhere around the way, he works. You know what I mean? He works for his money. He works for his money by making videos, but he's got a production team that does all that post-edit stuff for him at this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we don't have that. You got to do all that stuff, all the audio, all the video. You're doing all that just to post 5 minutes of video.
Yep. And for somebody, when we started this, I didn't do any social media.
Right.
So it's like I was completely having to learn everything, and it was a lot. It's a lot of hard work. I mean, we're still learning. We're getting better. Hopefully, people go back on our YouTube channel and our videos and stuff. Dude, you can see how rough it was at the beginning.
Right.
Oh, dude, it was like you're watching a VHS home movie in the 80s, man. Like it was rough.
Maybe we should try that. Maybe I can like run over to my mom and dad's over there and like dig in their closet and find their old VHS. And let's take that thing and strap it to the back. Let's strap that thing to the back of the Road King and let's tear the mountain up. Let's see what kind of classic video shots we can get with it.
Oh, dude, it'd be worth. We'll call it the Blair Witch Project motorcycle style, because that thing's gonna be
I'll have to counterweight it on the other side for the balance of the bike there. I'll have to fill one of the saddlebags up with sand or something.
It sounds like what we'll call this, the hillbilly garage.
The hillbilly garage. I don't know. I haven't really thought of a name for this place. But what is this?
I just say it's the captain. I go over to the captain.
The captain's house.
Yeah.
The captain's quarters.
Which I am.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, the captain's
quarters. The captain's quarters.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to call our little studio the captain's quarters.
I like this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how much crap I had to move around in this garage to be able to get it to get us at least a halfway decent backdrop that wasn't cobwebs and junk. If we 360'd around this garage, you'd be like, "Yep,
I am.
they're just like us."
I am so glad just to have some room to do this.
All right.
I usually
Right.
do it in the camper, and it's like,
How is that? How is camper life? I'm sure people, there's people out there. I mean, you see people out here all the time that, social media people and whatnot that, do the bus life thing, schoolies, do all that kind of stuff and trailer life.
so there's pros and cons to it,
Right.
Of course, I don't hate it, but there is limitations because we're getting to a point in our journey that to be able to produce and do what we want, I need a spot that's not camper.
Right.
To have the equipment to do what we're doing. But at the same time, it's been super helpful in the adventures that we have because it's real easy to get around, put stuff in,
Right.
and just go spot to spot.
Right.
So there's pros and cons to everything. The other thing is, you think you complain about keeping your house up.
You think that when you have such a small space, it'd be easy, but it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Because you can't you never get it, like nothing ever becomes organized. It's just constantly cleaning around, moving the clutter around from point A to point
Pretty
B.
much reorganize the clutter to be able to function for whatever you need to do that day.
Living in 100 square feet of space is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Right.
But it's also gave us great adventures.
Sure. Well, yeah, no, that's what it's all about.
So
you guys started this journey, for the experience, and that's an important thing too.
I mean, just think about it. We started in the trailer that I wrecked of yours
That's true.
because it used to be our trailer.
Right.
We started with that thing loaded down,
Right.
moved up to the camper that we're in now.
Yep. Yeah, you've come a long way.
We have.
So yeah, I mean, that's I said it's interesting. I think people don't understand that. Like, it's got its pros and its cons.
It does. Like, it's one of those things that
It's one thing if you take your camper out on the weekends or for a week here to go camping here and there, you know what I mean? But when you're living in a camper full time, yeah, that some days it just becomes a job.
it really does. And moving days, oh my gosh, moving days, because you're reorganizing the organized chaos.
Oh well, I feel like it's just life with Crystal anyway.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
I mean, that's the funny thing. You've known her longer than I have because you guys were friends, and then we started dating. That's how we became friends.
Yep.
And then we knew a lot of the same people, and it's like it's kind of like me and Jeff.
Yeah.
Love just to death. Become really good friends, close.
Yeah.
Because we lived down next to him. We spent a year
Right.
hanging out, and we talk about. We knew basically all the same people we never met.
Right.
It was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Run around the same spots, same people.
Yeah.
And
The motorcycle world is a big world and a small world all in its same. You know what I mean? Especially because you guys have the luxury. You get to you go on the a lot of the rallies and and you go rally to rally to rally. You start meeting people and seeing people, especially with the social media exposure that you guys have anyway.
right.
So that you guys all the circle you build that circle.
Yeah. But at the same time, as you're getting to, and what we're realizing after a couple of years is it's a huge industry, but a small circle.
Right.
So, my best advice is stand for what you believe, but
Sure.
also remember it might bite you in the butt too.
That's true. That's true.
Because it's a big industry, but a small circle.
Yeah. So let's talk let's talk Rollin Throttle here just a minute here.
Okay.
It's like we came from Hell's on Two Wheels.
Yep.
I mean, that was you guys.
So Hell's on Two Wheels started because of my nickname, Hells. Well, actually, it was Hellbelly
Correct.
because when my hillbilly accent came out when I had one too many adult beverages.
Social lubricants.
Yes. Hill sounded like hell.
Right.
So people started calling me Hellbelly.
Right.
And then, of course, we started Hells on Two Wheels. And, of course, with our followers and stuff, they just shortened it up. Like, hey, that's Hells.
Right.
And, Crystal became Miss Hellbelly.
Right. Right.
But and there was two of us, so it's Hell's on Two Wheels, plural. But as much as we love that name, we want to get to know more people.
Sure.
Because this is just my opinion, my point of view. If you guys think anything different, drop it in the comments. The best way to explain it is I'm a very blunt and abrasive personality. And that's because, my background, military and everything. It's just the way how I am.
Sure.
Sometimes I say stuff, you got to take what I actually say, not the way I say it.
Gotcha.
And some people couldn't. So, to a lot of people, I'm very aggressive when really I'm not. I'm just me.
Yeah.
And
it's his personality.
Right. But
once you get to know you, you're a pretty pleasant person.
And that's what's kind of happened over the last year is we got to know a lot of people, and they're like, their minds changed after they got to hang out with me. It's
right.
It's like, oh, he's not such a bad guy. He's just kind of blunt about what he says.
Yeah.
And it really is the military.
But blunt's not a bad thing. I think that's one thing that's one of the big problems we have in this world is, it's not about speaking your mind or not speaking your mind. I think sometimes for people, it's people don't know how to take people who speak their mind.
True.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people out there that just, they ask a question and you give them an honest answer and then they get offended by it. And it's like, well, you asked. Right. I mean, you want me to lie to you? Can't help that. I'm telling you I'm telling you the realized truth. Right. I'm telling you what the other 50 people wouldn't do.
But then also it comes to where the culture and everything's turned is if you don't think the same way I do, then you must not like me. But it's not true. I have a lot of friends that we don't think the same way.
We don't have to.
Exactly. And that's what makes great conversations.
That's what makes this world go round.
Exactly.
People who can agree to disagree.
Exactly. So we moved from Hell's on Two Wheels, and we want to create a bigger, more, I shouldn't say inclusive, but we just want more people to come and enjoy what we do. So we changed the name to Rollin Throttle.
Right.
And the great thing about Rollin Throttle is we can build the family of Rollin Throttle. Like you're on board with Rollin Throttle now. So it's just now it's not two people.
Right.
Now we can create a big family of people that enjoy doing what we're doing.
Right. And more people provide more, at the end of the day, more trying to think of the word that I'm looking for here. More people will give us more perspective. Exactly. More perspective and access into the motorcycling community from a different point of view.
And that's why I was so excited that you're like, hey, I want to do this because
yeah, sure. Why not?
I've been needing somebody that's opposite of me. And Crystal's got ADD, so I can't keep her going for more than 5 minutes.
Right.
Well, hello. If you like motorcycles, then watch our stuff because it's freaking awesome. You know what you're missing out on if you're not watching. But if you are, keep watching. Like, subscribe, and share. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, as I said, the community is a broad community nowadays. If we think back, to the beginnings, it's like if you take it back. Where do motorcycles start? Motorcycles started with bicycles. You know what I mean? Then they become a mode of transportation, and then short history in motorcycling in general. You move past the transportation industry, with Harley and Indian and Merkel and all the old antique bike names and stuff that are out there, and then they gravitated toward the post-war eras, and then you started getting into the clubs and all that stuff. And hey, nothing wrong with that. Hey, if that's what you do it. That's cool.
But it doesn't mean you have to be that way.
But it doesn't mean you have to be. Exactly. It doesn't mean that's what you have to do because you ride a motorcycle. You got to be that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is a more inclusive world.
It is. And what you're touching on is what I tried to do with Hell's on Two Wheels. I did a little segments called The Dirty Truth. And the whole point of The Dirty Truth was try to get more people involved and talking to each other and discussing. And I stopped doing it because it did the exact opposite.
Right.
I would literally say on it, hey, I'm doing this to get the conversation going. because
Yeah.
I want people to stop being against each other and start being with each other.
Right.
So that's another big thing I'm hoping with Rollin Throttle and what we're doing is we can get more people involved.
That's the name of the game there.
It exactly is the name of the game because it's one of those hobbies, lives, whatever you want to do. That as long as you're on two wheels, come on in.
Well, think about it. If give you some perspective on this. All right. It's weird how things that have wheels and motors and things that just have motors and no wheels, how bring people together. Everything out there in that industry, in the motive industry whatsoever, everything has its following. Look at Jeep people.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that's more like a cult. My God.
No doubt. I mean, it's like, my God, I don't carry a saddlebag full of ducks around. You know, like, ooh, it's a good looking Jeep. I got to go put a duck on that. You know, you've seen the Jeep duck? You seen that?
Yeah, but now they're doing the little hogs. Have you seen that? We've already been hogged.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Instead of a duck, it's a
hog.
It's a little piggy hog.
I feel like that's a copycat thing.
It is a copycat thing.
I don't think it's very original.
But
I get it, but
last year at Daytona, we got it. And we know a lot of people that got hogged.
Yep.
And there's a Facebook page that you can go there. You take your little hog and post your picture up on the Facebook page saying I got hogged.
I guess it's better than, like, you know, at least they're using like little plastic pigs and not like. Imagine if you combine that and it was just like, you know, like, you remember the thing, like, I don't know if anybody remembers this. Remember the big thing going around, like, where everybody was painting the rocks?
Oh,
and then they'd leave the rocks laying around stuff with your stuff on it.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were using rocks for motorcycles. Like, shit, my bike got stoned at Daytona this year. It's terrible.
My bike got stoned.
My bike got stoned. You know? Yeah, it was. So I mean, I guess that's a good option. It is. I guess it is.
Yeah,
but there's different communities, like the Jeep community. As I said, the boating community. I'm part of the boating community.
Yeah, you are.
This henceforth the name where the captain, I think, comes from.
Yeah, the captain.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's the same thing out there. It's a community out there on the water.
Which I'm disappointed we don't have the portrait of. I know.
Well, we'll pick that up for the next episode. Yeah. We got to give them something to tune back in for.
Exactly.
You can't throw all the good stuff out there straight up.
So if you missed this episode, you need to tune into the next one so we can talk about the portrait. Because I'm telling you, I've never been so disappointed walking your house when I didn't see the portrait up on the mantle.
Well,
I understand.
It's seasonal.
I understand. But still, that just came like the piece.
I get it. It did become a piece. I wanted a bigger one. You know, it's like I want, you know, but I had to scale it based on the size of my fireplace. You know, so it's like I had the, you know, giant.
Once again,
Victorian portrait of me.
Once again, if anything ever happens to you, I want that portrait because I will put that in a shop. It will be with me.
I tell you what, just in the event that something would ever happen, I'll go ahead and sign it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We'll go ahead and sign it. And maybe one of these days, if I was ever actually famous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could just like sell it on eBay or something.
The captain. But you're right. You're going back to.
It doesn't matter what community you're in. All these communities come together. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you ride a Harley. It doesn't matter if you ride a Honda. I don't care whether you ride two wheels or you ride a trike. For God's sakes, you can come out and ride with me if you ride a Honda Monkey for all I care. I don't give a shit. I actually saw that literally. Two guys rode from Maryland all the way up to Spruce Knob on two Honda Monkeys. And if you don't know what a Honda Monkey is, look it up. It's practically just a little bit beefier version of a mini bike.
But that's what we loved about Florida and the bike night scene down there.
Because it's everything.
It is everything.
Yeah.
And everybody just hangs out and talks to each other.
Yeah.
It's just two wheels. Like, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. You know, we have an amazing state. If they're I would say probably, and you verify this because, you know, you've rode everywhere. You know, you've rode all the great, amazing places there are to ride, you know, for the most part here in the continental states.
Right.
West Virginia is by far has got to be probably, what would you say? Probably at least in the top five, if not the top three. I put it in the top three, probably number one.
Hands down, top five. But number one in hidden gem because there's not enough people that know.
I think that's probably. I would agree with that too. Yeah, it's
because
you know,
we had friends come in from Connecticut that never been here and was like,
"Oh my God,
yeah, how have I missed this all my life?"
If you've never came here, visit. It doesn't matter if you want to come here to ride.
Right.
Come to Charleston. From Charleston, you're within a 2-hour ride into within an hour's drive of your nation's newest national park, the Great New River Gorge recreation area, and it's absolutely beautiful.
All right, since we veered off onto that, I guess
Did we veer?
Well, I'm just saying, since you went ahead and dropped into that, I guess we can go ahead and drop in the West Virginia Wild Ride Series with Rollin Throttle family.
Oh, I like it.
So here's my question to you. I know Crystal now. Are you going to join in and do any of the West Virginia Wild Ride Series this year?
Well, sure. We get out there, we'll ride it, we'll video it, we'll put it out there. We'll let people see what we got.
That's what I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's the great thing about what we've been doing, and I'm from here, and I'm like, dude, there's so much that people are missing.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that we can get more people to come here and enjoy it.
I agree with that. It need to. Like I said, I think it's a great community. As I said, from a communal aspect, we have a great motorcycle community here in this state. We really do.
Yeah.
And and I'd love to see more people come and be able to experience that and see that. It would be great.
It would.
It's beautiful scenery. It's amazing riding, and it's going to be some of this. It's going to be something you'll take with you. Something that will really stick with you when you come.
All right, so that being said, let's take a break here and give a shout out to another one of our sponsors, OF Performance. Man, you want to go fast, you want one of the most wicked bikes you ever seen, hit up OF Performance. Just because one dude's only got one leg doesn't mean we can't go twice as fast.
I like that.
Exactly. OF Performance. Hit us up. Go over to OF Performance on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and check them out. All right.
I'm sure we're going to throw some links out there for these people too, won't we?
Yeah, the links will be in the comments, in the description. I know. We're new to this. Come on,
Listen, I'm literally just taking excerpts from what I see other people do right now.
See,
trying to learn by the pros.
See, that is exactly why I was like, Jason, will you do this with me?
And I did.
I know.
I'm here right now.
Thank God.
I'm literally doing this.
Thank God. It's a lot more fun when you got two people.
Totally feels like I'm not even in my body right now.
Oh my gosh. Are you that nervous?
Oh, not really, not anymore. I was at first. I'm feeling pretty good, kind of easing into it now.
Like, pretty much we're talking to each other to nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
It might be different if we had like a live studio audience.
Well, we're not that big yet.
Well, not yet. Could happen one day. Who knows?
So live from the captain's. What we call this? The captain's.
Live from Pace Valley. It's Saturday night.
Woo! Calm down there. But so, what other topics you want to talk about tonight?
What do you got? What do you got out there?
Well, I guess we can touch.
There's lots of topics, so we gotta find.
I know.
There's so much.
There is, man. All right, let me give. Since you got the old Road King over there, kind of a traditionalist.
I'm old school.
You're old school. Well, I guess we can jump on the old topic of the 2024 models of Harley Davidson. What your opinion and first initial thoughts were?
Well, I can put it this way, since I haven't actually got a chance to ride one of these new 2024s yet.
Okay.
I can tell you from the initial get-go, it's a beautiful bike. It really is. I guess we got some engineering differences in there.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. We went to a liquid-cooled engine this year.
Liquid-cooled heads.
Liquid-cooled heads. Not full engine, but liquid-cooled heads.
Right, where we were doing oil-cooled heads.
Right.
And now we went to a true
liquid-cooled head. So, that should help out with the, with heating, especially for slow traffic and slow cruising and stuff like that. I would think that would be good. The new one's a variable valve timing VVT motor. Is that correct?
The 121s or VVTs.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like, I don't know.
So
sometimes I feel like, technology is good. Advancements are good.
Right.
But sometimes I feel like a lot of these bikes, and this new series is a very techno heavy bike.
Yeah. It's probably the most changes Harley's ever done to a motorcycle.
It's a whole new animal. It's beautiful.
Right.
It's beautiful and it's nice. And you're going to look at it and you're going to go, ooh, I want that.
Now, to me, there's pros and cons to it with the VVT because, the automotive industry's been doing VVT.
Right.
But then I've seen the downside of performance with VVT.
Correct.
So it's kind of like they're trying to control what we've been doing for years with the performance side.
Right.
Like they're trying to control the aftermarket of their motorcycles, where the aftermarket really has helped their brand in the last decade.
Yeah.
Because it's gave more people options to make it their own motorcycle.
Yeah.
Where now they're kind of getting to the point they're trying to limit that. Or if you're going to do anything, you're going to have to do something through the factory.
Right. Right. They're slowly, like I said, just like most vehicles out there you have nowadays, unless you have a programming degree and a big pocket full of money, it's hard to dig into them.
Well, I have a few friends that's already digging into it. And
right.
Let's just say there's a lot of firewalls in the technology.
They're in there for a reason.
Yeah.
They're protecting that dealership garage. Yes. That's what we're doing. Doesn't surprise me. I get it. It is what it is. It's the industry. You know what I mean? It's the industry no matter which direction you go. The marine industry is the exact same way. They're doing the same thing. I mean, now everything's these motors that are in a boat now are just as computer controlled as the motor in your car and almost impossible when you have a problem to work on unless you have scan tools and laptops.
Now, I have to give them for a factory bike, it's the best stock bike they've ever built.
Yeah.
Like, I rode it and I was like, holy crap.
Impressive.
Very impressed for a stock bike.
Yeah.
Because I'll be straight with you. Up until then, I thought Indian made a better stock bike than Indian.
Interesting.
Like, I like the Indian stock better than I like the Harley stock.
Right.
But I think they really stepped up their game when you want stock to stock. But in the same time, I built my friends' bikes. I got my bike. It still blows it out of the water. But
right.
I was able to take aftermarket and build it.
So we're talking about, as I said, we're digging into, just for recap for the people that are watching and listening here. We're talking, we're kind of more specifically, we're talking about in the touring line bikes too.
Right.
Just to clarify that, I'm assuming that once we get back into the soft tails and stuff, we're still oil cooled in those bikes, or did they change those too?
No, we're still in the old M8s in the soft tail line.
Right.
So we still have all the stuff we've been doing with the soft tail line. We can still do it with.
Right.
It's the touring line
that's
specifically the street glide and the road glide.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure people understood.
Yeah.
That. It's not every single bike. They didn't re-engineer everything.
No, because your tri glides, your trikes, and your limiteds, your full touring, and your soft tails stayed
the same.
Stayed the same as 23 models.
Right.
It was the road glide and the street glide is the one that they just completely redid.
What about that live wire? Did they bring that back out this year?
No, because the live wire.
Sorry, it kills me because it's like, I get it. Like, I understand Harley's take on that. They said, you know what? We're going to try to do a little bit of this electric stuff too. Maybe we can reach that electric commuter bike guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like it kind of hit the same place as the V-Rod did. A bike that just might look okay, but can't go anywhere.
But LiveWire is actually its own entity now under the Harley Corporation. There's one dealership. It's in California. It's the only place you can get them.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a good place for them?
It is a good place for them.
I'm just saying. Not knocking anybody from California.
Maybe not. I don't know.
No, I'm not. It's not their fault. They can't help their government sucks.
Which is so funny. Okay, let's take off into another direction with this. A lot of the style, our aftermarket style, performance, Cholo comes from the West Coast.
You're exactly right. 100%. I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
Like, the West Coast has a huge influence on motorcycles today. Huge.
Now,
I mean, realistically, it's just, take my Road King sitting over here. I mean, I built that by Cholo style.
Right. But West Coast might start it and start the style, but I'm telling you, East Coast, especially Central Florida, is a mecca of taking that and really figuring out how to twist it and really bump it up.
Bring it up to the next level.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. That's good perspective.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's good because as I said, you guys have traveled around, so you've got to experience the community and you've got to experience the market from so many different perspectives now at this point. You know, that's good.
Yeah,
it's good information to have.
It's one of those what they do out there on the West Coast, especially style, paint, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see East Coast style and paint, you're like, I don't know where that came from. I seen that 3 or 4 years ago. Started out on the West Coast.
Right. It just finally made its
yeah.
That's the progressive styles finally made its way across. Right. Yeah.
But then the East Coast takes it to another level.
Right.
They're like, oh, I like this style, but and they twist it, and the next thing you know, that's the stuff that you see on social media because they've done twisted it, and took it to something else.
Took it to something, completely changed it around.
So there's my love out to the West Coast.
Hey man, no, like I said, no West Coast hate here. You know, I'm not hating on them. You know, whatever. Hey, it's like I said, it's great. There's so much good stuff that's came through the community, and you know, automotive industry alone itself owes a lot of its styling in automobiles and everything from the West Coast style.
The hot rod guys.
Mad props to the West Coast completely.
Yep.
Bam! Thank you all for everything you're doing for us. This is great. Keep up the energy. Keep interacting. Like, subscribe, share. We're enjoying it, and we hope you are too. Thank you all.
Another funny thing, you're talking about you haven't rode it, but you like the styling of the 2024 models. You know, I worked the auto show this weekend.
Oh, the West Virginia auto show up at the Civic Center.
Yeah, so I worked that this weekend for Harley Davidson, and it was a great perspective of what I saw.
Yeah.
Motorcycle people that was kind of like, you know what I mean? So you could tell that they were traditionals.
Right.
And people that were in the motorcycles but were in the cool cars there absolutely love the look of the new car.
Right. Well, it's as I said, I think it's a style. It's a style that definitely carries its backbone of the old school style and the road glide, the street glide, and the road glide too, same one. I think that the backbone style is still there. You know what I mean? I think the core of that bike is still there. They've just kind of put it in a little more updated package,
right?
And I think it's great. Full digital dash. I mean, it's nice stuff. Like I said, the purists out there, you always have this, and no matter where you go, you'll have those purists that hate that stuff. You know what I mean? They want analog gauges and they want the reliability and the ease of working on stuff. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the style of bike you're into, do it to it.
Oh, man, especially around here. They're like, yeah, look at my 1995. I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is almost 2025.
Yeah. 2010.
Yeah. But that's still a twin cam newer style.
Yeah.
I understand, but
it's not an 88 or anything like that.
It's not an Evo. Like, all right, dude. Like,
I don't know how
we're using Evos on choppers now.
Right.
Like that's how long that's been. We're going to take those motors. We're going to put them on choppers.
Yeah, they're becoming transplant motors at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good. I mean, it's good to see an industry move forward. I hate to say it to a point. If you ask me the question, say, would I ever buy anything other than a Harley?
Would you buy anything other than a Harley?
Sure.
How come?
I don't know, because if I like it. For two things. The same reason that there's two types of people out there. You know what I mean? There's people that like that just love to do it because they like to ride. You know what I mean? And there's people that do it because they're brand loyal. And brand loyalty is good, but it can also be good to a fault. If your brand, whatever brand that is, I don't care what it is. If it's, you know what I mean? If your brand of wheelbarrows, if that brand of wheelbarrows that you have loved your whole life, every time you buy that wheelbarrow, it comes with a flat tire and you have to buy a new tire for it, would you eventually say, you know what, I'm going to look at a different brand of wheelbarrow?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like anything. Vehicles are the same way. Everybody has their problems. Everybody's got their little things.
Can you live with the problems of what you have?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I drive a Ram. I accept that. I accept the problems that I could have driving my Ram. It's been very reliable. 165,000 miles in my half ton. That thing is a tank, and it has got me everywhere I needed to go. Probably going to break down on the way to in the morning on the way to work.
And we're having this conversation about different brands. I'm sitting here with my Indian hat on with my Harley Davidson sweatshirt.
It's okay. It's mix and match day.
Exactly. No, and I'll be straight with you. I like the Indian. I like the styling.
I'm wearing my Road King hat and my Grundon's Fisher shirt. So,
But I'm just saying, I like Indians' looks. I like styling. I've rode them. I have no complaints about it.
Indian is an older bike, really. Older brand.
I disagree. It's an older brand, but the bike's not that old.
Who had a motorcycle first, Indian or Harley?
Well, no, we're talking about brands and motorcycles.
Well, that's okay. I get you. I see where you're going with that.
Brands and motorcycles.
Brands and motorcycles.
All right. But like I just said a second ago, can you live with the faults? And the thing is, I know how to fix the Harley faults.
I have to agree with that too. I was going to get ready to say the same thing.
Yeah. I haven't had an Indian enough to know how to fix the Indian faults.
I know the faults, and I know the reliability of my Harley.
Right.
And I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say it. My Harley's never left me stranded on the side of the road. Really, the only time knock on wood, the only time I've really ever had any issue with it, I stripped the shifter on trip once.
Well,
and that was my fault because I had a bad shifter. I couldn't get one. Boy, we could talk about that for a little bit.
Really? Because how many shifters did I strip out in one trip?
That's what I'm saying. Could really talk about that for a little bit on trying to get a shifter. So I had to order me a knockoff Chinese shifter, and I stripped it out.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Cranked it down a little bit tighter, managed to get through the trip. It was what it was. Replaced it when I get home.
But I'm in the same boat, and mine's well documented about my breakdowns and everything.
Well,
and everybody listening, and
you've had major engine trouble. Major. As big as it gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
broken valve springs, broken valves,
and dealing with that. Who built it? Lawyers.
Yeah. Well, you got
because I'm telling my story of what's happening, and they don't like that story of what's happening.
Those are bad PR stories. Nobody wants to hear the bad stuff.
It is what it is, man.
That's the truth.
That's how you keep people accountable. That's how you keep these companies accountable.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying they're going to be horrible companies, but that's how you keep them accountable, to keep them doing it over and over and over.
You know what would make me feel good about Harley, just in general?
What would that be?
From perspective.
Okay.
Is if Harley could figure out a way to not fuck up the service side of what they do. I mean, they're a great place. You can go buy a bike. You can buy all the clothes to ride a bike, and they're good at doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like when something goes wrong, it's just a pain in the ass. Now, bear in mind, I get it. There's a lot of Harley dealerships out there, you know what I mean? And I know they're not all the same, and I haven't been to every one of them.
Right.
But, through the community, you start to hear the same problems. Everybody starts to talk about the same problem.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not the bike. It's not that. It's the service. It's parts and service.
So
it's like it's become an afterthought to that company.
It's not that it's come an afterthought. So a lot of people listening, and I don't know if you know this, Harley went and worked and learned from Toyota. And Toyota's philosophy is just in time. That way you don't keep all this overhead. Just in time.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is like during COVID, when they're selling so many bikes.
Right. Nobody else had anything to do. Couldn't go anywhere. Might as well buy a motorcycle and ride.
Right. Then all of a sudden you're having so many people doing something.
And
they weren't ready. They weren't ready for that demand.
Well, this, like I said, the problems that I and Taylor have run into through the course of years would predate the COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This goes back to the shifter story. I'm leaving for bike week. I need a shifter. I stripped one out. We can order it. It's like, well, I could order it. I need one now. Well, we don't have one. Well, you're a dealership. You don't have a shifter? Like, you don't have one single shifter anywhere? A stock one? I mean, it didn't have to match at this point. I just needed a shifter. It's none. Nothing. And they looked at me like I was an absolute retard for expecting them to have a part. I can remember going into a dealership and every single thing that you could want to put on a bike was on the wall. I could walk in, grab a set of floorboards, it was there. If I wanted grips, they were there. They had nothing.
Nothing's changed.
That's kind of where I'm going with that. You think about it from, and I get it. I understand, as I said, trust me, I get it. I understand retail and understand inventory control.
Yeah.
But like for the people that buy the bike, it's like, hey, you know what? I'm up here near the dealership. I want to stop in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get those floorboards today. Online shopping is great, but sometimes people like to just be able to walk in and take something off the shelf and take it home. I like to feel that. I want to spend that money, get that instant gratification of putting it in my hand.
Right. I spent my money and I'm holding it right now.
Yeah. I mean, I changed stuff on that bike right there, and they couldn't even have it. I had to order it from Harley. Like I said, pre-2020. It was pre-COVID, so we can't chalk it up to that.
Right.
And like I was still on back order for shit for like 2 months. I had parts. I went on the trip that I went on and came back and still had parts coming in that I had to put on. COVID screwed some stuff up, but it didn't screw all that stuff up because this was pre that. But hopefully, one would hope that somewhere around the way they fix that. If they can fix their parts and service stuff as a whole.
That's why JP Cycles in Daytona is so busy. They just leave the Harley dealership and go over here.
It's like I'll just go over here and get it.
Yeah.
We don't have one of those here. I mean, once he goes back to order. Like I said, if they could work out, do something better with their service, with the service after the sale side of thing, if we could kind of get into that, I think that they could refine it.
Well,
but I worry about Harley.
I see your
as
point.
a company.
I see your point there. But what about the people buying it? They just bought their motorcycle. Why can't they? They should be able to walk over and literally pick the part up and be like, I want to put this on.
Right. It's like I don't want to buy a bike and have to pull out the catalog and start ordering parts for it. Like I want to be like, hey, you know what? I want to ride this bike home, but I can't because these bars don't fit me and it's not comfortable or safe for me to ride. Oh, well, okay. I don't have those. We don't have any handlebars here in stock, so I'm going to order it, but it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks before we can get them. That sucks.
Or hey, we got them. Let's roll it down the service, and then you hang out for a couple hours, and we'll have you ready to go home.
Right. You can have that bike today. You can go ride it.
Yep.
Ride it right out of here. Ride it home because that's what we want you to do. We want you to get out there. We want you to ride. We want you to enjoy your ride. We don't want you to have buyer's remorse because you feel bad because you can't ride it because we didn't have the crap to help you get it there. We got you to sign the papers.
Yeah.
We got you to sign the papers.
We got you the free T-shirt.
We got you to. It's not a free T-shirt. That's like a $40,000 T-shirt. That's what that is.
My gosh.
That's like a $20,000 to $40,000 T-shirt.
You can't ride the bike out here, but you can wear the T-shirt.
I had a $40,000 boat trip. That's the way it was. It's like, here's a T-shirt. It's like, that's not free. I paid for that. But I financed that T-shirt.
Yeah, it's a circus out here. We're wobbling on a wire. There's a lady with a beard, clowns juggling fire. Elephants and donkeys got us jumping through hoops. Y'all wish that I was lying, but you know that it's the truth. Get your popcorn